So if
You
you were
done
doing,
karaoke? I want to know what you would pick.
okay, I've never done karaoke ever.
Because here's what I've noticed about you.
Right.
I always want to sing along to the songs, and you jam out, but you don't sing along to the songs.
Well, because I was deaf as a kid. I can't sing. I can't carry a tune.
But that just shouldn't stop you. You should still want to sing along, right?
I can't sing a note. I really can't sing a note.
I know, but it doesn't matter. It's almost like how dogs howl when they hear the music. Like you just it moves through you. You have to do it. But you've trained yourself to suppress that urge to sing.
Well,
I feel like we're going to bring it out of you, Vinny.
Hang on. Let me talk about it. I talked about it in my book, my famous book that's been downloaded and viewed and seen and bought and everything you can do with the book. I talk about the nuns. One of the things the nuns made me do, and I couldn't make this up if I tried. I would sing because my dad was a great singer. My dad, played music and sang and the whole thing. And everyone in my family was musical, but I was tone deaf. So I couldn't really, I couldn't figure it out. It took me a long time.
That's rough to be the only tone deaf one in the family. That is rough.
If I was a blues singer, that would have been my name, Tone Deaf Johnson. Yeah,
Tone Deaf Tortorich.
Yeah, he was the best. He was tone deaf. But the nuns would ask me to just in church, like when we would have mass, like in church, like once a week or whatever. They told me just to mouth the words.
Oh no!
You know what that feels like when you're a kid?
That's not nice.
You think you sound as good as everyone else, and you
right.
And you're singing louder than everyone else because you can't hear your own self sing.
Right.
And
also because the Holy Spirit's just moving through you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was kind of like the scene in Blues Brothers when, they go to the church to get some churching.
Yeah.
Cab Calloway told them they need to go to church and get some churching.
Yeah.
And they went there, and that's when they saw the light and realized that they had to put the band back together. Right. That's how they were going to get the money to save the orphanage.
Right.
And there was some weak writing in that movie.
This is a lot of plot devices. Things to move things forward.
But yeah, that's
what happened to you. They shamed you. And so you never sang again.
Yeah.
Even in your car when you're by yourself and no one could possibly hear you.
Yeah, I might do some drums because you've seen me do the drums, and you see me, because I could get, I could do some, I can look like I just smell some dog shit when I do my solo face with the guitars. Like,
yeah.
I could do that really well. But as you know, because my family is musical, I picked up a guitar. I can pretend to play. And
you can play some chords and stuff.
I can actually do the pentatonic scale because
that's great.
I get the theory of music and how music, how it's just numbers, and I got the scientific brain, so I can grab a guitar at the beach and make you think I know what I'm doing. But when someone goes play something, I always go you do it. But I've just stretched and bent a couple of strings, and people are like, really? This guy, because when you bend some, the pentatonic scales, I'll do it like an E, and they'll go, oh wow, this guy's, he's bending the blues. He could do some blues here, but I'm just running up and down the pentatonic scale, and and I could do a couple of chords, and I can like do the beginning of ear candy stuff like Father and Son.
Right.
Do. Nah, I'm not gonna play it. Not tonight. Here, someone else take over. So I can do that. I can fool someone into thinking I can play. And that's it. I refuse to sing.
I'm not okay with this. I feel like I want to undo the nun damage.
And I got to tell you, I'm 59 years old. You would think that I would have undone some of this by now.
No, it's still a mess.
But yeah, I am. But here's the deal. As much as I hate those bitches, and I do, and I know I'm going to get.
They're all dead, so who cares?
I'm going to get the cart.
We're dancing on their graves. We're eating NSNG pancakes on their graves.
One of the few that I like, Sister Natalie Marengo, is still around. The thing is that as much as I hated what they did to me, because this is supposed to be God's little helpers, these nuns or whatever, I think they made me the man I am today.
Of course.
Kind of a nose to the grindstone, work hard. I mean, Anna, come on, you have a lot of friends, right? How many of your friends started a vitamin company?
None.
Very successful multi-million-dollar vitamin? None.
None.
How many of them started a boutique coffee company?
None.
How many of them, besides yourself, started their own food company? Take you out of the equation.
None.
You see, I think that's why you and I have gotten along from day one.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of the same person.
Yeah.
Right. We had some hard knocks, and those hard knocks can do one of two things. And this has a lot to do with what I want to talk about today. Those hard knocks can knock your dick in the dirt and you go, fuck it, I hate everyone and woe is me. And I'm just going to start doing drugs and alcohol and everything else, and I'll be that. Or you can go, you know what? I'm not going to let them, they can't break me. Yeah. I'm not going to let them beat me down.
Oh, I find anger to be a huge motivator. Like, I'll show you, and then you kind of forget about it, but it gets you lit up to go do it. I mean, I don't know if you ever forget about it, but you know what I'm saying? It's not like it's forefront of my mind. Like, I'm going to prove those nuns wrong. Like, it's not like you're doing that, but there is, I think that's a very valid thing.
There is a lot of that in the back of my brain. It keeps me getting up at 59. I'm going to be 59 next month, getting up every morning. I've never had a job where I had to go clock in or tell a boss I'm here or whatever. And when you work for yourself, you got to climb your ass out of bed every morning and go do it. You hang the sun, you make it shine, and you make those bales of hay with the sun you just turned on. That's just the way it is. And you could be that guy, or you could be the guy that goes, woe is me. I wasn't, by the way, to become the woe is me guy.
The naysayers are still there. Like, it's still happening. You know what I mean? Like, when I put out the first book, what did that very respectful literary agent say to me? Don't do it. You have no business putting out a cookbook. Nobody knows who you are. You should partner with a celebrity chef if you want to put out a book. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. By the way, here's what I've learned from the years of the entertainment industry is that people just say what they need to say to end the meeting because they're not interested. And that's okay for people to not be interested. I used to take it personally. But, they would say like, oh, we already represent, 12 brunettes.
Yeah.
With round faces and brown eyes. Like, okay. Yeah. Like, they just say those things because it's just not, if it's a match, you'll know it's a match. You'll jive and you'll want to work together. Yeah. And unfortunately, when you're first starting out, most people tell you they don't want to work with you because you have no experience and nothing to offer. And so you got to go out and pay your dues and do that stuff. But no, the naysayers still happen. I got an email today that was basically like, no, we would never do this. The thing that you're asking, the thing that you want to do is a terrible idea. It's basically the gist of the email. And again, now I'm old enough and wise enough to know it's just not a fit, and that's okay.
Well, my and your good friend Andy Schreiber, we are at the point in our careers where when someone tells us it can't be done, we start smiling because when you start hearing you're never going to do that, it can't be done, no one's ever done it, they'll say, "What are you guys smiling about?" It's like, you just told me that no one's done it yet.
Oh,
that's all you're telling me.
I have so much more to share about this spice mix adventure, and I can't do it yet until I have everything locked down and secured. And we've been 9 months in R&D. It's ridiculous the amount of time I know it took you a while for the vitamins and stuff, and I just forever. I have so much more to share. I can't wait. I have people that I'm paying as consultants who are telling me some fucking horse shit.
Yeah.
And I want to smack them, and I will not pay them any more money, obviously. But I'm like, you're supposed to be the expert. Oh, go fuck yourself. We're not doing it that way.
Anna, look, you and I can sit around and drink scotch and commiserate all night.
I know.
I can't wait for you to tell the story on this podcast whenever.
I know. I'm really going to look forward to it because the fight, the good fight is real. It is real.
Yeah, no, it is. And
it'll be worth it when it finally comes out. But
anyone who makes it and does well in the space, it's funny that guy got on again. They keep kicking him off Twitter, but he got on again. He's kind of a spam bot guy. And here the con man, he calls me the con man. And I love when he does it. Oh, he's there all the time. I just canceled him again or got rid of him. I'll let him go for a few days and I'll block him. He's busy literally putting a different mouth on my pictures and making me say words that, and I'm like looking at that going, man, you got that kind of time on your hands? Do you realize I envy the amount of time you have in your hands to do that. I kind of wanted to call him and say, hey, listen, I can pay you a sturdy salary if you could come work for me.
Yeah. I need your content creation skills.
Yeah. You are good. I really was looking at the shit he was making come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. And I was going, wow, I wonder if I can hire that guy. Most people would go, look at that guy. And
does he just know you from Twitter? Does he listen to the podcast?
He hates me because I'm on Corolla telling people to eat meat or something. And he writes to them and everyone else. And he's, you got to be careful with those kind of guys because they can get on the bus and come find you. And
that's very true. We don't want that.
I would have to kill him. I would. I mean, if you come,
if he comes into your house,
you're dead.
Uninvited.
You're dead. Ta-da! You lose. But don't worry.
Ta-da! You lose. You're dead.
The gun I'll use, you won't feel a thing. It'll reach out and touch you pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry about getting to me or my family. First, you got to go through some very tough alarms, a couple of dogs. And then if that doesn't get you to leave, oh my God. Meet my friend Smith and Wesson. Anna.
Yeah.
Speaking of Smith and Wesson, speaking of people who started with nothing and came a long way, Anya Fernald.
Mm-hmm.
People are still clicking on that photo of the beef I put up the other day. Belcampo.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Look, folks, just go to Belcampo. Just go. I see the orders coming in every day. And I get to see what you guys are ordering. They now send me the link. I don't see your names. I don't know what you're buying. I can't do that. There's laws against that, but I see all the orders coming in. They send them to me. It's amazing. It's amazing what people, some people are spending, you could tell they just got it right over that $100 mark to get the free shipping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other people, they got
I know the tricks.
They got a deep freezer and they get $700-800 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
And think about that. If you got $800, Anna, all right, let me do the math here. $800.
That's $120 savings.
Thank you.
That I could do in my head.
Yeah.
It's when you do random things. You're like, when you buy $645, what's the savings? I'm like, I don't know.
About $90.
Rain Man. Jesus.
It's crazy how much money you can save by putting in promo code Vinnie. Just on $100 you save, if you do $120, you're saving a shit ton of shipping. You get the 15% discount. That brings your total order down to like $115. And then boom, you save 15% plus free shipping. It's a no-brainer. Everything there you want. Belcampo.com, the best meat I've ever had. Promo code Vinnie at checkout, VINNIE, no wimpy Y. Go check them out. I'm going to get Anya back on the show really soon, and we shall do that. And I want to talk about, I'm not going to use her real name.
Hormones?
I want to talk about Mary. There's something about Mary.
Okay.
So we changed her name to Mary.
Mm-hmm.
I really scratched.
Which means I give you 3 minutes until you actually say her real name by accident.
Bill, get ready to cut the name Becky. Wait. What I meant to say was that wasn't her name, Bill. So I was talking to Mary. She's one of my consults today. Very sweet woman. And, when I talk to people, it's like, hey, I was following you for a while, and I did Jason Fung for a while, and I did Carnivore for a while, and I came back to you, and it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. People get excited, they lose some weight doing this, or they might start with Carnivore and they come over to NSNG, or they might try keto, do all the keto breads and all of this stuff, and then they come back to NSNG or whatever, and then they want to do a phone call to tell me how well they're doing and the whole thing. And this woman was calling me because she's not there yet. She's 59 years old. She's my age. She is 5'4" and she weighs just over 200 pounds. She's got weight to lose. And she was doing really well. She got distracted with the pandemic, a new job, divorce, all this stuff, right? And I'm listening to this woman's story and I'm like, okay, I feel you, man, or woman, or they. I feel you, because there was a lot going on last year with the COVID. There was a lot going on. You know, she got a divorce and she had to get a new job, and she, you know, all this stuff happened, and she put 40 or 50 pounds back on. Whatever she lost, she put back on. And she said, you know, the new job, I just can't stop eating junk. And I said, well, tell me about it. She was like, every day someone brings something in. It could be donuts, it could be cookies, it could be donuts and cookies. And they'll say, hey, Mary, here's one, have one, just have one. And I said, Mary, what kind of, she goes, well, sometimes it's Oreos. And I said, Mary, do you ever say to yourself, I'm just going to have one, just going to have the one, and that's it. One Oreo, come on, that's not going to hurt. She goes, I do that every day. I said, do you secretly eat the whole bag? And she goes, oh my God, it's like you were watching me. I said, does that happen every time? She goes, every time. I said, here's the deal. It's not because you're weak. It's not because you have some kind of, you can't control yourself and you feel like a pig and everything else. You don't have the capacity, not you, not me, not most people. Most people do not have the capacity not to eat junk.
Right.
And she said, why is that? And I said, hormones. Hormones.
Yeah.
And she goes, explain. And I said, okay. I said, you know, when you eat that, several things happen. One is you start to release insulin. That's a hormone. We need insulin to live, right? People with type 1 diabetes they have to inject insulin. They have to control when they eat sugar, they have to cover it with insulin, right? Us normal people that don't have that problem, we cover the insulin, right? Oh wait, Mary just ate some Oreos. I need to send some insulin down, and that insulin will move. This is kind of a 101, folks, so really pay attention here. That insulin will move some of that sugar from that Oreo into your bloodstream. Make sure your bloodstream is topped off. It'll leave a little bit lingering around in your liver, and some will go into your muscles, just to linger around in case you need it for later. Mostly you're topped off on that anyway, right? Unless you bonked, but you're topped off on sugar. So once that's all taken care of, and by the way, one Oreo cookie can get you there, everything else is going to be turned into a long chain triglyceride. Read that big fancy statement as fat. It's going to be turned into a long chain triglyceride, a long fat cell, and it will be stored in your fat cells in your body. See, you already have all the fat cells you're going to ever have. Now you're just stuffing them. And I used to say this back in the 80s. I used to tell my clients, you know, you can, if you filled every one of your fat cells to their capacity, you can stuff a small couch. And they will go, oh, come on. It's like, me too. As lean as I am, I can stuff a small couch if all of my fat cells were maxed out. Now we see 600, 700, with this TV show called My 600-Pound Life.
Yeah.
Right? These people look like they could stuff a couch, right? Look at our friend Scott King, who's now running triathlons. So what I was talking about in the 80s, people just couldn't wrap their mind around it. We're there now. We're there. There's 800, 900-pound people. And it's all those long chain triglycerides going into your fat cell. That's a hormone. You can't control that. It's going to do what it's going to do. I'm going to say one more thing about insulin. If you do that too often every day, you become resistant to that hormone and you cause a little something called type 2 diabetes. This is not like the juvenile type 1 style diabetes. This is type 2. This is the one you cause to yourself. You've done this harm, right? Not your God or your belief, whoever you believe in. You've done this. But let's move on because maybe it's not your fault. Next to that.
Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
Clarity question.
Sure.
So insulin resistance is why somebody with type 2 diabetes would have be running really high blood sugars, because it's all that extra glucose is running through the system.
I don't want to get into the whole medical reason, but yes, that all plays in.
Okay.
Okay. Besides your body, when you eat a lot of sugars all the time, your body's always flooded with sugars. Your sugars go way high. It's all part of the same problem. The short answer to that, Anna, is yes. Okay. But it doesn't matter here because I just want to stick with the hormones. Your body releases several other hormones. Another one is leptin and ghrelin. Now, I'm not going to go all medical, but I'm going to keep it on a surface level that anyone can understand. As Serena always says to me, pretend I'm in kindergarten. Explain. When you release for the hormones for the sugar, the Oreos, you're also releasing ghrelin, leptin, cortisol, and a few other hormones, but we're going to stick with those three. Leptin. Leptin is the hormone that's supposed to tell you that you feel full. Okay? You eat a steak, you eat a 12, 14-ounce steak, you feel full. You eat a pint of ice cream, which is more ice cream, a pint that's 16 ounces, that's more than a 12-ounce steak, and you might feel full, but now you want more sugar. It makes you want to eat more because when you keep putting that sugar in, your body keeps releasing leptin all the time, you become known as resistant to the leptin. Let me give you an example of what that means. Anna, if you're a teetotaler and you have 1 ounce of bourbon, you might get tipsy, right? You might be too drunk to drive.
Yeah.
But if you drank 2 scotches every night, 1 scotch won't scratch that itch, right? If you wanted to get drunk, you would have to drink 3, 4, 5 ounces of scotch. I'm just saying.
I know.
You would have to drink more. If you're used to an amount, you would have to drink more. The same with leptin. When it's being released all the time, you become resistant to the leptin, the hormone that's supposed to make you feel full. A lot of these people I talk to, they go, Vinnie, you don't understand. I never feel full. These are 400 and 500 pound people. Their brain is telling them they're starving. They have enough fat on their body to walk back and forth across this continent, the great United States, 30 times without eating a meal. Yet their brain thinks they're starving, thinks they're emaciated and starving.
And then they're overeating because of that, and then feeling like disgusting because they can't stop eating, and they're like fulfilling a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I was going to say, Anna, that's what you call a self-fulfilling prophecy, but thank you. So wait, there's more.
But wait.
You got a little something called ghrelin. Ghrelin is
sounds like gremlin, but it's ghrelin.
It's ghrelin. It's the hormone that makes you feel hunger pangs, right? It tells you, oh my God, I haven't eaten in a while. Get something, feed me. Get something, I want it in my belly, right? That's ghrelin. Oh my God, I better eat something right now. I'm starving. You're not really starving. It's just your stomach saying, I'm cavernous, I'm empty. But your stomach might not be cavernous and empty, because if you're doing that all the time and your body's always releasing ghrelin, well, you're going to have the same problem, the same alcohol problem that I was talking about. You become resistant to the ghrelin. So even though it's being released, you're still hungry. Am I making sense, Anna?
Yes.
Your brain thinks, oh my God. The best example I always give about this is when I was a kid, we had an old saying, what do you need 30 minutes after you eat a Chinese meal?
Another meal.
You need another Chinese meal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it takes 3 hours for your stomach to empty its content, but you're starving.
So there's still food in there.
there's still a lot of food a half an hour later. And you're going back to the fridge, grabbing some of that sweet and sour pork because you didn't get enough. So why is that? Well, your brain thinks you're starving, even though you have a stomach full of food, right? That's because that hormone is not working in the right direction. So, and of course, cortisone causes inflammation. It's released along with everything else. I've given this example to more women than I care to remember. Ladies, and I'm talking just to you ladies, this happened to men too, but men don't notice it as much. Women have more form-fitting clothes and they wear something called pumps and Mary Janes and these shoes with straps. Ladies, you ever had that night when you were feeling good about yourself and you wore your thin jeans, the ones, those white ones, the ones you can only wear when you feel thin, feeling good about yourself?
I'm sorry. When you feel thin and you know there's no period that's going to happen.
Right.
You can't wear the white jeans.
Not when you're getting close to period day.
No. Disaster.
Right? Yeah. You can have disaster pants.
Mm-hmm.
Your pants will look like the Chinese flag, or is that the Japanese flag? Japanese flag.
Yeah.
The big red dot with the white.
Yeah.
So you don't want to wear that on period day, but let's say you're out with the girls. It's a Friday night. You got on your F me pumps. You got on your tight jeans. You go out, you're feeling good. And everybody orders a margarita. You've only eaten 2 chips and taken 3 sips of margarita. All of a sudden, your pumps feel tight on your feet. You feel like you're going to pop out of your pants. You feel fat all of a sudden. You go, wait a minute.
And you couldn't possibly have eaten enough things to make your belly pop out.
You got 3 sips, and you know what every woman thinks? Oh, it's the salt on a margarita. It's bloating me. No, it's not. It's the sugar. It's the reaction. It's the cortisol causing this instant reaction.
Interesting.
Right? All of a sudden, you want to take your pumps off. You want to take your pants off. You start bitching at your friends because you're not feeling good about yourself anymore. You were thin 10 minutes ago.
Right. And now you're like,
on and on and on. Right? All of this happens because of hormones. You know how you make a hormone?
You fucker.
Don't pay.
No, that's how you make a nun pregnant. Never mind.
Yeah. All right. You know, you're thinking of
how you make a nun pregnant, you fucker, but how you make a hormone?
You don't pay her.
Oh.
Yeah. And you're writing that down. How do you not?
I'm pro sex workers, so I think we should pay her.
Okay. So here's what I told Mary today. Even though Mary was 59, I said, Mary, I want you to go back to a time when you had a period. Go back a few years before you went through the change. If I had come to you the day before you started your period on any given month, and I said, Mary, this month I want you to concentrate really hard, really, really hard, and don't have a period. Right? Just don't have it.
That would be, you would make a lot of money if you could teach people how to do that.
And if I came to you on any given month, like the day before when you're getting bitchy and everything, and I said, hang on.
Go ahead.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say pre-NSNG, yes. Now it's actually.
Okay.
There's I have no PMS. I have no boob pain. I have no bitchiness. I have no mood swing. I don't have the thing where you gorge yourself 2 days beforehand. I don't crave chocolate.
None of it.
I'm telling you, I shit you not. It has completely turned around my hormonal cycle with regards to being a slave to those kind of symptoms.
You still have a period,
but before, right? Yeah. But before, yes, I hear you.
Let's concentrate on your period.
Okay.
I came to you the day before your period and said, Anna, I want you to really concentrate really hard.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking it away. Think the period away.
Period. You're going to still
Is it like pray
right?
the gay away, but you're thinking the period away?
Well, you could pray gay away. That's been proven.
Right. That's science.
Yeah, it's just good science.
Yeah.
But you cannot pray away or outthink a period, can you?
Right.
Why not?
No.
Why not?
Because your biologically designed to do that, to prepare for children every month.
And what's happening? There's a change in what?
Your hormones. Yeah.
Your hormones.
Oh, I thought you were asking me like, well, the estrogen goes up and then you ovulate and then the progesterone goes up.
Yeah, that's all hormones. Yeah. It's all dictated by hormones. So
right.
We know that you cannot stop a period.
No.
By being strong and adamant and nose to the grindstone, you can't stop a period.
Right.
Because it's predicated on your hormones.
Right.
Yet, for some odd reason, we think that, oh, I could just think my way out of this bag of Oreos. It's not the Oreos. It's not the Oreos. It's the hormones. You don't have a choice.
Right.
Now, you would say, well, Vin, why can some people have one? Because there's some people who can do that. You're looking at one of them. I have a friend who's an alcoholic, and he tells me all the time, he goes, I've never seen anyone like you have a couple of sips of a drink, put it down, never pick it up again. A couple of sips. You don't even finish it. Because I don't have that problem. Get an alcoholic to do that. They can't.
Right.
They just have to not have the drink.
In fact, that alcoholic will finish your drink.
Yeah.
You're going to leave that?
There could be a cigarette butt in it. They'll somehow go, well, I need some fiber, right? They'll finish your drink. The bottom line is, and look, alcoholics have done crazy things. Remember, what was the name? The guy who was running for president, and he had the cousin. He wore the flaps on. He looked like Snoopy. Who was that? Remember Snoopy flaps?
The guy who was running for president, and he had the cousin, and he wore Snoopy flaps. He's
got a cousin who's an actress, and she was in Moonstruck. Help me out here, Anna.
Oh, Michael Dukakis.
Dukakis. Remember his sister, his wife. One of them she would drink mouthwash and rubbing alcohol if she had to.
I didn't know that. That's his wife.
I don't know if it was his wife, his sister, one of the Dukakis.
Oh, wow.
Had that. It wasn't Olympia. It was one of the other ones. But the bottom line is, you can't stop someone from doing what they're going to do. Don Coddington was on a Friday show a couple of weeks ago, and he said I marveled at Don for years. Don, you're my best friend, and you're my boy, Blue. You're my best friend, and you can't. He goes, I just can't stop. He had to look at his sugar addiction as an actual addiction.
Right.
Guy lost 60 pounds. He looks like a different human being.
You just made me have a memory of being in the British Virgin Islands when I was 15. So the thing that I did really well was, first of all, my mom got me into these schools I had no business going to. And then what I would do to not feel so left out and weird was make sure I'm the funny one, because rich people will always keep funny people around.
Yeah.
And I wound up getting invited to so many different trips. And so I would save up my money and get my plane ticket, go. So I was 15 and in the British Virgin Islands, sailing the British Virgin Islands with, it was a bunch of us. And then our friend's dad and his friend, and his friend had an older dad. So we're all 15, but his dad was like 70, it was one of those things.
Sure.
And, third wife kind of situation. And of course, there's no drinking age in the British Virgin Islands. You can just go get beer. So we would be at port, we would get the beer, and we're sailing around for like 10 days, 2 weeks or whatever. Super fun. It's how I saw the world, was doing things like that. And it was awesome. And since I was 15 going on 16, I didn't have a lot of experience with drinking. I'm from the Methodist Church. Nobody drank. I wasn't around it. But of course, these waspy folks, they were professionals, great at drinking. And so to fit in, I would want to have a beer or whatever. And it was funny because I never liked, beer was never my thing. Right.
Right.
And so I would maybe drink a half of one and then just sip on it and put it down. And then at that age, you would mix vodka with orange juice or some super sweet thing just to be able to
make it
down.
palatable. Yeah.
Right. And which goes to show, number one, how kind of poisonous and toxic alcohol is, but you all want to get drunk when you're teenagers because that's what everybody's doing.
Well,
right?
it's making you feel grown up. I remember.
It does. It makes you feel grown up. But hold on, let me just finish real quick.
Yeah.
So one morning, Mr. Blum was his name. Mr. Blum comes out of the Philadelphia Blums. Mr. Blum comes out of his quarters on the ship or the boat, whatever. It's a schooner, a 64-foot schooner. Really great boat.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. And Mr. Blum comes out, and this man sailed his own boat, by the way. It's not like there was he did everything. And then we would help out. And it was great. I knew how to sail. It was awesome. And he came out, and I thought we were going to get yelled at because we're, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds drinking on the boat. And then he came out and instead lifted up the beer can and shook it, and then lifted up that beer can and shook it and was looking at us and shook it. And then he basically was like, "You guys leaving wounded soldiers out?" And we were like, huh? Like we thought we were going to get in trouble. And he's like, "No, we're on a boat. You conserve your resources. Don't drink a half a beer and then just leave it there. You finish your beer, or you have your friend finish your beer." And it was such a wait, what? I'd never heard a grown-up tell me that you need to drink more alcohol, basically. And then I was like, oh, I get it. These people do it differently. Because where I come from, you got in trouble if you got caught drinking beer. But then I started to realize it was like it's a thing. You finish that beer. And I was like, but what if you don't want to finish the beer? But our bodies will tell us not to finish the thing. Our bodies, I bet you, if you listened at the beginning of starting to eat the Oreos, your body would be like, okay, we're done. This is gross. Like we've had a couple, now we feel kind of gross. Like we've crossed into that territory, but we are so used to just not listening and going, well, I gotta keep it doing it. I'm going to
absolutely. Anna, let me ask you this about drinking. When I was a kid, because my parents didn't drink. My dad was a local politician.
Yeah, my parents didn't drink either. I was never around it.
Over, and he would have a drink in his hand. And
oh, that's smart.
Like he would just nurse. It was all sweaty, and everyone knew he didn't drink. He just kept a drink in his hand.
Right.
So no one in my family really drank.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because I had rich friends, and I would get invited to go water skiing. We didn't have a boat.
Right.
But I was a good athlete, so I was always invited to go do water skiing and everything else. And they would all have alcohol. So I just thought alcohol was just something that rich people got.
Right.
Because it
is expensive too.
Well, yeah, my grandparents never drank because they were Depression era people. My dad was Depression era. My mom was Depression era.
I didn't see it until I was in high school. I'm telling you, I never saw it.
My mom's great-grandfather, my great-grandfather, the one that came from Italy, Papa Tripodi, and his wife, he would drink a little wine, like a little wine at dinner, like a little wine. You see what I'm doing here?
Just a taste. Yeah.
A taste of wine. And and I was like, well, this is Italian liquor because that's what they're doing. I don't see my friends, they always had it was called like a highball, right? It was mixed with something else.
Tom Collins.
That's what my dad would have in his hand. He would have that was a thing of Tom.
Oh yeah. Tom Collins was big back then.
Old fashions, Tom Collins and all this kind of stuff, and so it was an interesting thing that I went, oh, the poor people like the Giardinas, they drink Schlitz beer.
Yeah.
And wine. And I'm talking screw cap wine. And right. But my mom and dad never drank at all. The Tortoriches, my grandfather and my grandma, I never saw drinking either one of their hands ever. And I was like, well, obviously this is what rich people do, because whenever you see in television, there's always they're pulling the ice out of the bucket and cling, cling. And then they have like the cut crystal and they're pouring it from the cut crystal. And you go, okay. And when I went to my friend Jim's house, that's what would go on there. That was a cut crystal and everything else. And Jim's dad ran a bank. So, that's what the rich people did, right?
Right.
Did you have that feeling that only rich people
absolutely.
drink?
In fact, the first time I ever drank, I was at Becky. I shouldn't say her name. She lived across the street from Malcolm Forbes' estate in New Jersey. And I'm talking, everybody makes fun of New Jersey. It's one of the richest places in the nation. These houses are unfreaking believable. I remember being at Becky's house and her dad drank St. Pauli's Girl Dark. And she was like, we should drink beers. And we were like 14 and a half. And it was the first time I had ever drank any sort of alcohol. And it, of course, it tasted like absolute dog shit because you're a 14 and a half-year-old girl. And you're like, what? And so we ate Skittles and then drank the beer. And I remember getting a buzz off of like half a beer, but I was like, why do people do this? And then I told my mom, and my mom was like, oh, that's a rich man's beer. Like, and I was like, oh, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and again, I'm really impressed that your people didn't drink because you were Catholics. The Methodists are so teetotalery that they, like, for communion, they put Welch's grape juice in the things, like in the little cups. You have Welch's grape juice for communion. They don't do wine.
I don't ever remember seeing my mom really. She's never had a drink in her hand. I've never seen her drink a beer.
I just don't, was it just not as common back then, or was it like, or did we just happen to grow up with families that was it? I remember my dad holding a Pabst one time when we were like at someone's lake house on Lake Martin. Are you calling Murray?
I gotta know.
No, you have to now.
I gotta know.
Oh, my drinking, I'm a self-taught drinker. Okay. I learned I had to observe. I had to drink my own alcohols, create my own cocktails. I love making a good cocktail now. But tolerance is not hugely there. I'm vamping right now while Vinny gets. She's not picking up.
I'm trying to get Maury on the phone. She's not picking up. Let me see if I can bring her.
I don't want to derail from the hormone conversation though, because
we're going to get back to it because.
But you really got me with that conversation of like, we're taught to like finish your plate, drink your beer, like eat, do the things. Oh, he's going, I'm doing a podcast right now. You want to get on the podcast? Oh, here we go.
Let me see if I can make this happen, Anna.
And you know what? Now we'll be able to talk.
Yeah, let's see. Frankie, can you hear me? Are you there? Frankie?
I'm here.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you are. There you are. All right.
Okay.
All right. You're on the podcast. You agree to be on, right?
Yes, of course.
Anna's on the other line.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Anna.
Frankie, I was trying to get Mom on the phone, but she's apparently busy right now. She couldn't pick up. So I'm stuck with you.
Right.
Now,
I talked to Mama twice today, so I don't know what she's busy doing.
did she go to the casino? Is she playing blackjack today? Was she?
I don't. She's doing something. They're busy. It's but I talked to her twice today. She sounded good.
Okay. I was talking about, Anna and I were talking about, and we're talking about hormones and everything else, but we're talking about alcohol and drinking. Oh, wait, there she is.
Hi, Frankie.
Hey,
So sorry about that.
Day.
Okay, goodbye. Ma?
Hey, babe.
You're on the podcast. You mind coming
You're
on?
live, baby.
Oh, I'm live.
You're
Oh,
live. You better watch your language, Miss Thing.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I only say nice things.
That's right.
So,
And the reason I didn't answer is I'm selling a house to my second grandson, and the people left when I tell y'all left it. I better not say that.
yeah, don't say anything, Ma. A lot of people hear this show. A lot of people that live around there hear this show. All right, so
Yeah.
okay, we'll talk about that off the air. So, Ma, Anna and I were talking about the fact that, the Tortoriches, meaning Daddy's family, they never drank alcohol, really. I never saw.
No,
No.
they were not. They were not. They did drink socially. They if I had to say, if they went to a wedding or a birthday or whatever.
But
Yes.
they never sat around and had a beer or a drink. I mean, I don't
No,
ever. All right,
no.
so, and the only time I ever saw Daddy with a drink was, well, when he would play music, he would always have like a mixed drink on stage, and it would sit on an amp, and it would just
Right.
sweat. He would never drink it.
Daddy never drank. No.
Yeah, so
Daddy played music. Daddy played music as a teenager, and he was a designated driver. And as a designated driver, he was the one in the band that never drank alcohol because he had to bring them back home after the dance was over.
Okay, so he didn't drink there. When he became a local politician, I remember parties at the house, and he would make drinks for everyone else, and he would always have a drink in his hand. But again, it was sweaty, and the ice was melted, meaning he was just pretending to drink.
He was holding it. That's it.
Yeah, and I never drank. Now,
No, hang on, you just got to the punchline. I don't ever remember seeing you ever having a drink. Did you drink in high school? I mean, all your friends were rabble rousers, that Rosalind, and you had Joni and Jackie. They all smoked. You never smoked. Did you ever do anything?
I did. I tried to smoke and I hated it. And they all, I think Rosalind still smokes. Grace Ann quit and Joni quit a long, long time ago.
So you tried the smoking thing because your brother was an adamant smoker. Does he still smoke?
No, my brother does not still smoke. But my brother was a beer drinker also.
Yeah. So this is what's weird to me. You didn't smoke. I've never seen a cigarette in your hand, nothing like that ever. Jackie always had one. All of them had one. Grace Ann and Joni, they all had a cigarette. As a matter of fact, I can't picture those women without a cigarette in their hand.
Well, and I'll tell you another thing, Ben. I was raised in a house with Mama and Papa, and there was wine on the table for every meal.
I talked about that because that was on the table for every meal when I was a kid, and they would offer it to us. It was like
yes,
yeah,
but it was always in moderation. The wine was on the table, and if you drank wine, it was in moderation. It was not to sit down and drink a bottle of wine.
Right. So, but it was served with the meal. It wasn't like, hey, let's have some wine. It was on the table, and
it was served with the meal.
Right.
And Mama had all of the colored wine. Mama used to make anisette too. You remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah, I think we talked about that in a different podcast. But Ma, in your adult life, like from the time I was a kid, I'm trying to picture a time when you had any kind of drink, and you have a bar in your house. There's a bar right there in your house. I've never seen you. Can you remember a time when you've had a drink or?
Yeah, I could tell you exactly the last time I had a drink was 2 Sundays ago. At the Mont Leon, I had the best margarita I've ever had.
So wait, if it's the best one you've ever had, that means you've had.
She's had a bunch.
Margaritas.
Yeah, well, we like Mexican food. I do not order margaritas with my Mexican food, but I did at the Mont Leon, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
It was a you know how they give you a separate menu, and it had some fancy name, and you could pick 2 from the first.
Prefix.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And of course, one of the things was they had about 6 drinks on there, and I ordered the margarita.
Okay.
Did you get wasted?
Oh, I drank about half of it. It was very good.
Did you get tipsy?
Not at all. No.
See, Anna, she didn't.
I feel like we have a missed opportunity, Marie. I wanted to hear you get tipsy and act out.
No, I've never done that in my life.
So, Ma,
but that's what the world wants to see.
So obviously, you've had a drink where it's like a sweet drink of some sort, that kind of thing, like a margarita.
Margarita and a pina colada. I think pina colada is probably.
So she likes dessert.
That's dessert.
Exactly. Oh,
you don't need the rum in there. You just want the pineapple juice and the coconut and the sugar.
Yeah. And so, I do not like what's that? What you drink, Vinnie? I can't stand that.
Scotch. Yeah.
Oh, I don't like scotch at all.
So Ma, I've seen Daddy order Virgin Marys.
Oh, Bloody Mary.
Yeah, Virgin Bloody Marys.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
is just
no,
tomato juice
Yeah, pretty much.
with clamato.
well, with all of the olives in it. We both like that.
Yeah, I've seen them have the virgin. They'll go to a seafood restaurant while they're waiting for their table.
Yeah, and we get
Yeah.
yeah.
So speaking of all that sugar, Ma, you are still NSNG, right? I mean, you've lost a ton of weight.
Yes. As a matter of fact, this week I don't think I didn't get off at all. I'm trying to think. Oh, we had salmon today. And
Nice.
what else?
I don't know, Ma. I wasn't there.
Oh, I made a cauliflower soup and it was delicious.
Great.
Nice.
I patterned it off of the tomato basil soup, except I used cauliflower instead. And
Great.
one of my it was really good. I boiled the cauliflower in the beef broth, and I think that made a difference.
Oh yeah, that sounds
So-
great.
Ma, Daddy's
Yeah.
getting loud back there, so I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah, let me go because we had Uncle Frank's house showing it to Joey. The people left, and of course we here showing it to Joey.
Hey, Ma, what's the difference between a light bulb and a pregnant woman?
I do not know.
You can unscrew the light bulb. Okay.
Bye, Vinny.
I'll see you later, Ma.
Bye.
Bye, and I love you.
Love you. Bye.
There she goes, folks.
Oh my
Carl's
gosh, she's
favorite.
so cute. She's the cutest.
Isn't she the best?
She had to get a little bit tipsy from the margarita. Come on.
I have no idea. I mean, I've never seen when my mom says she.
I want to
drinks
hear her
margarita,
get tipsy and just mouth off.
I've never seen her do. She never loses it.
Yeah.
I've never seen the one. You're looking at the demeanor right there. You're seeing
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
That's it.
Yeah. There's no passing go. There's no collecting $200 in her life. She just
Right.
keeps moving along. So
Can I tell you about Cappelli olive oil before we get back to our
to the hormone story.
the hormones?
Yeah. Go on.
Cappelli is the best olive oil on the planet. And guess what, guys? It is back to being stateside. It was not for a while. He was sold out of it for a while. And it was honestly, it was painful. It was painful for me. It was painful for all of you. But the 3 liter, he sent so many over that they're still in stock. But I'm telling you, get them before everybody else does. And here's my suggestion. Get the 3 liter tin, because this is literally the best olive oil on the planet. Get the 3 liter tin. Get the KTM if you don't already have one, the spicy oil.
You need that.
You do need that. And I would get the little travel one, the little travel on the go, because then you can kind of refill that. And I would get the 750 milliliter, because inevitably you're going to have a friend who asks you about it and you're going to share that with them, and then they're going to want to have it. So it's like a good present to give. I love the spices. I buy the spices all the time, but here's the deal. You want to get over, it's like we were talking about with Belcampo. You want to get over enough so that you can get, with the discount code Vinnie, VINNIE, you get 10% off your order. And this is every single time you get 10% off your order. This has been going on for years. One day it's going to stop and we're not going to have this anymore. So just keep buying it while you can, because it's
We're going to
literally
stop this podcast at some point, and that's going to be it. No more discount.
I'm going to be really sad, because then I won't get my Vinnie discount.
Yeah, maybe we could keep that going for us.
I got to get him to do a new gift basket, because they're sold out, because he has some. I sent him some sauce. Oh, but it might totally be sold out. I want to do a thing where we do a sauce and some oil, and oh, it's so good. Discount code Vinnie, VINNIE. We're talking about Cappelli olive oil. You got to go to villacappelli.com or click through the banner out at Vinnie's site. Discount code Vinnie, 10% off your order. You won't regret it. Promise.
Okay, so to finish the hormone story, that's the deal. You cannot control your hormones. Most of you can't. Most of you are not like Marie Tortorich. You can't just have a sip of margarita, think it's the best thing you've ever tasted, and then put it aside and move on. Most people don't have that kind of weight, right? Most people can't do that. we're not her. Right. So when it comes to hormones, don't think you're weak. You know, think about Don Coddington. Think about this woman, Mary, I've been talking about today. And she'll know who she is because she knows who she is because I said everything else correct about her age, her weight, her height, 5'4", 5'4".
And so she's basically going to go back to NSNG and.
She's already back. She just wanted a pep talk. And we talked about some other things too. You know, we talked about, you know, the divorce and everything. And she is, you know, I'm happy for this woman, man. She is moving on with her life.
Great.
And, you know, I might do a one on none Friday podcast where I just talk about motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to come on and do that one, because you're a pretty motivating person, if you're free to come on, you can do
that'd be great.
You know what? I'll save the New York Times butter story for next time. If you're listening to this on Monday, check out Anna's Clubhouse.
Oh, yeah. Tonight. You're going to be on it with me. I'm so excited.
That's right. I'll be on. And
8 p.m. Eastern.
I always say I'm busy and I'll just be on for an hour, but we know that's a fucking lie.
Yeah, it'll go on a little longer.
Yeah, I stay on for a bit.
Yeah.
I'll stay on for a bit. So isn't it funny that I was talking about the Giardinas and Papa Tripodi and the wine being on the table? You know I'm not lying with it because my mom unprompted told the same story.
Oh, right? Yeah.
But the fact that she tried to smoke, I can't imagine Marie trying to smoke. I can't even see that. But, you know, Joni and Jackie and, you know, they're all, you know, Grace Ann, bunch of Italian women. They were all Italian girls. You have to see this to believe them. So anyway, folks, Anna Vocino Clubhouse tonight. Also, Anna Vocino has a few things going on. She has the Eat Happy cookbooks, but wait, there's more. There's Eat Happy Kitchen. You want to check out Eat Happy Kitchen. Why? Yeah. Because they got the crema. They got the pink crema, and they have the marinara.
That's right. Oh, get a variety pack. There is a variety pack there on the site, or you can build your own case and get free shipping. Somebody built this case the other day. They built 6 marinaras and 6 puttanescas. They did not want the pink crema. They built their own case. Other people have done 4, 4, and 4. It's customizable. Pick your own. You can subscribe, by the way. Stole that business model from you, Vinny. You can be a subscriber and then you save 10% every month, and you can go in every month and change your flavor if you want to do that. It's kind of fun. Like what I do with your coffee. Sometimes, although right now I'm super into the athletic blend. So here's what I like to do. I like to have your coffee until like something makes me switch and have another one of your coffees. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. That's what I like to do. Well, yeah. And also at Eat Happy Kitchen, I will say this. We've got the new marinara meals PDF there, and it's only a PDF, and it's like $4 if you get sauce. It's only $4 or it's $7.99 on its own. I want to make stuff easily affordable, you know, because we still have to pay for shipping for the sauce, unfortunately, but I want the recipe stuff to be accessible.
Anna, last week I took 2 pounds of Italian sausage.
Mm-hmm. I like where this is going.
I cooked it up.
Mm-hmm.
I par cooked it, but I cooked it I did it in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
Then I took it out of the oven. It wasn't completely done yet, but it was pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And I cut them into about 1-inch pieces, 2 pounds of it.
Like discs?
Yeah, but a little longer than a disc.
Right.
Not like that. And I put it in my pot.
Mm-hmm.
And I stirred in the pink crema. And I just kept working the pink crema, just working it and working and let the rest of that sausage cook. And that is something about the Italian sausage with the anise seeds and all the different flavors, and that pink crema kind of working its way. And I don't know much about cooking or the chemistry of cooking, but the way it kind of worked itself.
Flavors were marrying, baby.
Oh my God. Now I'm going to tell you something. Take this any way you want. It was delicious that night.
Right.
Breakfast the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't a morning erection. That was a second erection I got when I was eating that. Because I heated some, put it on the plate, and I took 2 over easy eggs and put it on top. And when that egg was breaking in there, oh my God.
I will say this.
Oh my God, Anna.
I'm a huge fan of putting whatever the leftover is in the pot, bringing that to like a slow boil, and then I poach the eggs in that. It
See, I
takes
don't know how to-
longer
I
than
don't
if
know
you're
how to do
poaching it.
I don't know.
Well,
how
you
to-
just make like a little pocket and you crack the egg in there and you cover it, and then but you have to let it go like 7 or 8 minutes. It's not like when you poach eggs in boiling water where it only takes 3 minutes.
I
It
like
takes
to take my
longer.
large skillet. I know how to get them perfect, over easy.
I get it.
I slow cook them.
Guess what kind of eggs I ate today?
Duck,
No, guess.
dove.
No, guess.
Right
You're
now,
closer.
that's not an egg. A dove, quail. Egg.
Yes.
Where'd you get those?
From the CSA where I pick up the farm where they slaughter the animals every month, and we get lamb usually and ground beef, and we got goat last month, so I got to make something with that. And then I got the regular chicken eggs, but I got the little quail eggs, and Lauren fried one up, and he ate that, and I soft boiled them, and then I peeled them, let them cool, and peeled them, and had some smoked paprika and salt on there.
I need to
Quail
get
eggs
a
are
few
so
dozen.
creamy and delicious.
I need to get a few dozen of them.
And they're cute.
I got to find out who sells them here because I love quail eggs. I love quail.
There are quail running up and down. In fact, the name of my street has the word quail in it. There are so many quail that run around. So
Really?
I would imagine it was only a matter of time before people were doing quail eggs.
Love me some quail.
Yeah.
Folks, go check out everything she's doing at annavocino.com. Also, we have the Amazon page. Go check out, before you go to Amazon, go to vinnietalers.com, click through the banner. It puts coal on the fire and gets my train down the track. Andy wants me to remind you guys, next month, September, we're releasing finally the DHA EPA, the fish oil with krill.
That's awesome.
Coming, and then right behind that, we have everyone is excited about the vitamin C zinc pack that we're doing. We're doing an immunity pack.
Immunity.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing all that.
That
So
with
check
the vitamin
all that
D.
out.
Ooh.
Also, we have superfan page. You can check out the superfan page at vinnietalers.com. We appreciate everyone going there. Although I did have a funny amount of money that came in. Like people give me sometimes, like when they lose 50 pounds, 49 pounds and $49, 10 pounds, they'll send $10, whatever. Someone sent me $8. Does that sound like they lost 8 pounds? That's got to be an 8-pound weight loss, right?
Maybe, or maybe that was their A1C and they lowered it.
Serena said maybe they lost their weight in stones, or they were doing the pound conversion. Maybe it was from Europe, or it could have been England or
Maybe
European exchange.
Maybe they wanted to give you 10, but they still need a bus fare home.
Could be. It's a mystery, folks.
We'll never know. If you're the one who gave $8, tell us why.
Anyway, we're going to stop the recording on thing now.